Your cringe woke me up.
Rise of the TMNT, when it was first revealed in 2018, got a lot of scorn from some fans, saying, well, this is too different, and therefore I think it's bad. Now, there's nothing wrong with saying that you don't like it because it's unfamiliar, but you gotta have to try to watch the show first and foremost to see if you actually like it. I mean, I sat through the entire first season and I think the show's really good. Although, this isn't the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon I watched. That would have to be the 2012 cartoon. That was my Ninja Turtles. I didn't grow up with the 1987 Turtles or the 2003 Turtles. And the TMNT and the 2012 series was quite literally in 2012. The show debuted in September of 2012. I was there when it first premiered, and I watched the first episode. I thought it was really fun because I realized, oh crap, I actually like this stuff. Although this wasn't the first Ninja Turtles thing I've ever seen. The first Ninja Turtles thing I've ever seen was actually the Power Rangers crossover. No, I'm just kidding. The first one I ever watched was Turtles Forever. Or rather, that was the first animated production I ever watched when it came to 2D, because I had already watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, and TMNT, the CGI movie, beforehand. Now, the CGI movie is actually something that made my childhood. I could never say this is a bad movie. Especially with Nolan North as Raph. That was an awesome casting. But, back on topic. Rise of the TMNT is very, very different when it comes to how the show is. And now, I would talk about the show itself, but I've only seen season 1, so I'm not even going to talk about the show, and instead I'm going to talk about the 4 turtles. Starting with Raph. Now, when it comes to Raph, he's actually the leader of the Turtles in season 1. And, to be honest, I find that kind of interesting because it reverses the dynamic between him and Leo, who I'll get to later. But anyways, Raph is one of the only characters that I can definitely say has changed over the years. In the original cartoon, he was more sarcastic than angry. But in the 2003 series onwards, he did become quite the aggressive one. But the thing is, in the 2003 series, it was revealed that the reason he's the angry one is because he cares so much about so many things to where he, gets angry as an effect of what happens when people hurt the people he cares about. And then, in the 2012 series, he actually gets a little heated in certain seasons. Not seasons, episodes. In certain episodes, Raph doesn't exactly have the best light shed on him. However, there are 2 episodes that are a solo focus on him. Episode 3 of Season 1 of the 2012 series, which is the episode where Spider Bites comes in, And then episode 18 with the Cockroach Terminator. Raph hates getting insulted in episode 3, while in episode 18, Raph reveals his fear of cockroaches. And when a cockroach that Donnie modified with a spy cam gets mutated, well, they realize what's going on. The cockroach is targeting Raph. And, well, there you go. In season 2, though, Raph actually forms a friendship with Casey Jones and becomes his best friend. That seems to happen a lot now that I think about it. Raph becomes the best friend of Casey Jones of quite the number of times. In fact, even in the 2007 CGI movie, it was established that he and Casey were already friends, and Casey recognized him as the Night Watcher, something that no one else was able to do. Heck, it's kind of funny because not even Leo knew it was him. And yet Casey was able to figure it out within seconds. But enough about Raph. Let's get to Leo. Leo! No, actually, no. Not. Wait, I keep forgetting. No, Leo. No, Raph. Yes, Raph. Sorry, this video is unscripted and I'm having a hard time focusing. But anyways, Raph in Rise is actually different because not only is he the leader, but here's the thing. Rise of the TMNT, well, it's not only different in the fact that the turtles have radically different designs than what we are used to, and it's not only different in the sense that the turtles are still having different personalities, but all being more played for funs. Raph also has a completely different weapon in this series. He doesn't have a completely different weapon in this series, but he starts with a completely different weapon in this series. A set of tonfas. Not a set of sai, like he usually has. No, a pair of tonfas. Now, this is the most radically different of the bunch, but it's not totally out of his character because if we know Raph, he's the guy who would punch first and get up close and personal, and I think tonfas would be a pretty good weapon if you're not trying to stabby stab your opponent. Raph was also one of the only characters. And now I haven't seen season 2, but in the movie, Leo is the leader and Raph isn't. But Raph is getting angry with Leo once again. But this isn't because Raph isn't disagreeing with Leo because he's, well, a hothead. He's disagreeing with Leo because he's the responsible one. He's trying to tell Leo, this isn't okay, you shouldn't do that. But Leo won't listen to that. And this is what frustrates Raph. He's trying to help his brother, but his brother won't even listen to him. That is actually pretty interesting. But then now we can go on to Leo. Leo in Rise is, once again, very different, not being the leader. Now, much like with Raph, he also doesn't start off with his signature weapon, or with his signature pair of weapons. But unlike Raph, he doesn't even get a pair of weapons. He only gets a singular Odachi. And yeah, I know people call it a singular sword, but really the sword is an Odachi. But this Odachi has the power to open portals, which segues into the Turtles with their mystic powers. This series decided to give the Ninja Turtles mystic powers. Powers that really mostly come from their weapons. Raph's astral powers are. No, Raph's mystic powers are the fact that he can create an astral body. Leo can create portals. A lot of them. He also tends to be the one who thinks the least. He's also the one who speaks not so fun, and by that I mean he speaks rash. And he can sometimes get himself into trouble without meaning to. Which actually reminds me of Sonic in the Sonic the Hedgehog movies by Paramount. Huh. Actually, now that I think about it, Leo's also voiced by Ben Schwartz as well. Huh. Weird. Nobody Now we go on to Mikey. Mikey. Okay. Mikey is the most precious cinnamon roll in the entire show. I am not even joking. He really is. He is really fun. In the episode Donnie's Gifts, he's seen as trying to flop on his opponent, but he has a suit that inflates trying to get him to stop doing that. Which is actually funny because it plays into his personality. Mikey doesn't wield his signature pair of nunchucks in this show, at least for the first season, because instead he wields what I can only describe as a yo-yo. Yeah, a yo-yo. Let that sink in. A yo-yo. A really freaking cool yo-yo. I'm sorry, but if you can make wielding a yo-yo look cool, then you're a cool guy in my book. But yeah, Mikey's mystic powers are more about strikes than anything else. Which is actually pretty cool because, well, it just is. He's also way more powerful than you may think because in the Rise of the TMNT movie, he's actually the most powerful of them, being a huge mystic. Which, comparing him to, 87, 83, 2003, and Greg Sipes, I know what I said. It's actually really funny how this is Mikey not necessarily being too different from his original counterpart, but being different enough to where you don't even have to know that it's not Mikey. Okay, what I just said made no sense, but you know what I mean. And then we get to Donnie. Oh, Donnie. This version of Donatello is definitely the weirdest one. Mostly because, well, let me explain something real quick. I don't remember who voiced Donnie in the 87 show, but I do know everything from 2003 onward. He was voiced by Sam Riegel in the 2003 series, who I personally know from something like Persona, as he's the voice of Teddy from that series. But then he's also the. But then he's voiced by Rob Paulsen in the 2012 series. A much more well known voice actor. Let's just say that. But then you get to him in Rise, and I also forgot who he's voiced by, but he's definitely interesting because in the 2000 in Rise, he's Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory.
You serious?
I'm not joking. He is a lot like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. And some people have theorized that he may be somewhere on the autism spectrum, which, given that I'm on the spectrum myself, I don't really get. No, seriously, guys, can someone explain to me what they're talking about? I don't really see it myself. But there is one thing that I can definitely say that I do see. That being, Donnie doesn't have mystic powers in the first season. All he has is a staff. A super techno wizardry staff. One last thing about the show before I wrap this up. I really like it that instead of it being a whole bunch of ooze turns characters into mutants, it's now ooze mosquitoes absorb ooze and then they bite into a character and that mutates them. That honestly makes a lot more sense, to be honest. Oh, and the Shredder? The Shredder's actually a demon in this universe. Pretty fun. Even if it is a little weird. Anyways, that's the video. Hope you enjoy, and I'll see you next week.